Hello everyone, Kevin from K-Tech Services back again for another digitizing video. This is part 5 of the two-color R, okay? Just a couple things I want to kind of go over with you guys real quick before we get to the stitching. Let's see, the first thing, okay, needles. Okay, so I like to use Oregon. I'm an Oregon fan. The DBFK5 Z1s. The Z1s are specially designed for 3D foam, so those are the best to use. I do like to use a big needle, so a 9014. Now these are PD, this is titanium. Titaniums are a little bit stronger, kind of like those, but the chrome will just work just fine too. Okay, so those are the type of needles that I like to use for doing. Now I do use, even though it's a two-color design, I do use both needles, even though that the outline stitch is not foam, but that's fine. Okay. The second thing is the type of foam I like to use. I like to use the 3 millimeter dense foam. That's what I use, what we digitize and everything like that. Just kind of give you a little, there's kind of two different basic. There's a classic type, and then there's a, obviously you have more rounded here versus more of an edge. I like everybody wants the edge. Okay, now the classic's a little bit easier to stitch, but you don't get that obviously that edge. Some people, most people don't. I mean, most people want the edge look. Now, granted, you have to digitize differently for classic versus dense, because what we did was for dense. Okay, so just kind of FYI about that. So great. I'll make sure I get all that stuff and links so you can check the node out. And cool. So the next screen we'll see is the OS side. Okay. So we got it loaded from Design Shop, our R that we did together. Okay, we're just gonna set everything up here. There's actually two different versions of the driver parameters or hoop limits. Obviously, there is the wide angle frame, which is actually 270, but in this case, we're just doing there actually is a smaller version, front only, which obviously most people do just the fronts anyway. Doing the sides and the back, it's usually a different frame, and that'll be another video. So we have the R here. I'm gonna stick with 1,000 stitches per minute. So I'm running the latest and greatest MOS Flex Plus 11.20.2, just so you know. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and set our color sequence for our colors. Okay, I'm going to do a clear all. So I have my red on 12 and white on 2. So I'm going to do 12, hold, and then 2. And that's the outline, of course, here. The red is the outline, and then 2 is actually the inside, which will be white. So obviously the hold I put in there to stop, so then I can enter the foam since this is a two-color design. Okay. I got that set. Okay, apply okay. We're good there. I need to flip it upside down. 1, 2, let it process over to the machine. Now I got that good. On the active feed side, 6 for the minimum, and then the maximum I like at 35. The reason for the maximum is more because an active feed, when it senses, it will feed more thread than we want to in this scenario, because we want the stitches to be tight. If you don't have that turned on, you're just going to overfeed, and then you're going to cause loops. It's not going to look as tight and crisp as it should. And that's usually just because of 3D foam. There are some other incidents, but that'll be later videos. In this case, I found, and my other customers that do a lot of 3D foam stitching, 35 works just perfect. Okay. So 6 on the minimum and 35 on this example here. Okay. All right. We're all set to go. Okay. So the next screen you're going to see is we're going to get a hat ready for stitching. Okay, on the press of foot, I go all the way counterclockwise, which is down up 2 to 3 clicks for the first color. Okay, now I'm going to move up the press of foot 3 more clicks for the foam. Okay, after the sun run, it sewed out really well. I'm happy with it. It pulled in some areas, but that's normal. So you have to kind of tweak it as you go. But it look how well this sewed out. Just beautiful. Now the only other thing, I don't have to do it too much with dense foam and stuff like that. But you can use a wand. It's a hobby wand. You don't use a heat gun because you'll melt the foam if you go too much. I'd use a light, and then if you had to, just kind of lightly over there, so you can
kind of shrink the foam and get it under the stitches. But in this case, you really don't need to do it at all. And that's it. How is how beautiful that is, and how so your stuff can come out just as good. But it's following my. Thanks for watching, and if you can give me a thumbs up, I appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next video.